Welcome back. I'm Miranda Kahn. The Iowa boy who got hit in the head by a football thrown by Marco Rubio speaks out.
Hey, Rubio, when you get back to Iowa, I'll be ready for you, Rubio.
Tough kid. 4-year-old Brody Dill says he wants another chance to catch that pass from Rubio. He missed the first pass, but maybe he'll get another shot. Thai police say at least 10 people may have been involved with Monday's bombing at a Bangkok shrine. Police singled out a main suspect, but they're also searching for 2 other men and a woman spotted in the security footage that you're seeing right here. That blast killed about 20 people and wounded more than 100 others. 2 Polish men say they found a Nazi train filled with gold, jewels, and guns, but they won't reveal its location unless they're promised 10% of the treasure. Now, for years, rumors swirled that a train disappeared after entering a tunnel near the castle that you see right here. A New Jersey woman leaves behind a very unusual request in her obituary. It reads, Elaine requests that in lieu of flowers, please do not vote for Hillary. Elaine's husband says his wife meant it to be taken seriously, but his late wife was a comedy performer and she wanted to have a little fun. And she certainly got a few laughs.
I'm sure she did.
Welcome now to our Newsmax Now roundtable. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, this might be my obituary too after this segment. Joining us today, Republican strategist Ford O'Connell and co-host of the Daily Wrap, Rick Ungar. All right, if you're watching with your kids at home, you might want to leave the room because this certainly might not be appropriate for everyone, but we got to talk about it.
Spoken like a true dad right there.
And it also might represent the silliest story of the so-called silly season. We have heard of presidential candidates, write-in candidates, some with fake names, some with their cat's name. I want to make sure we get this clip up. Let's cue it up again because we got to hear this. But this year, there is an independent candidate running, and according to some of the polls, he's making an impression. Let's take a listen.
Just completed poll in North Carolina shows Donald Trump leading Hillary Clinton in a possible presidential matchup, but that's not the part that's grabbing people's attention today. It is the third-party candidate on that poll, a candidate named D's Nuts.
Oh, no.
Really? A candidate registered as an independent from Iowa has the legal name of D's Nuts.
No.
Public policy polling showed him pulling 9% of the vote in North Carolina.
Kudos.
In a nutshell, what do you guys? I'm sorry.
Kudos to Leon Harris for pulling that off with a straight face. But all jokes aside, Rick, what does this really say about the current state of our electoral system?
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, I can't believe he got on the ballot so easily. I would have thought it would have cost him a few $1 million like it does in most states. What does it say? It says that this kid could probably out-debate Donald Trump. You know, it's crazy out there.
It is crazy. Ford, I know you want to weigh in. Please do.
Let me tell you something. You'd have a lot more of this if Trump and Hillary's email server were not in the news. Let me tell you about Vermin Supreme, who got 888 votes in 2012 in the Democratic New Hampshire primary. And mind you, he's of the Free Pony Party. So you'll be shocked. This is the silly season. And because of Trump and Hillary, guess what? You're not hearing as much of this as you normally would.
How different is this political season compared to years past? I mean, you've been a strategist for a while, Ford.
The previous ones have been yawners. Imagine if we were talking right now about Jeb Bush 24/7, everyone would fall asleep. I will say this, though, about D's Nuts being on the ballot. Ask Winston Churchill. The best argument against the constitutional democracy is 5 minutes with the average voter. And guess what? It's only getting worse within social media land.
Yeah, I think Winston Churchill used to say, too, that democracy was the worst political system except for every single other political system out there.
Everyone.
True.
You know, and also, you know, when we look at the landscape of this summer, the summer of 2015, ahead of 2016, normally this is the doldrums, the summer doldrums. But I was just talking, Rick, about Trumpism and how we all need to kind of embrace it, because whether Donald Trump is the GOP nominee or not, I personally believe he is kind of turning the system on its head for the better. People, for the first time, are telling the D.C. elites, Democrats and Republicans, because it's happening on the Democratic side too, that they're just not going to listen to the same consultants anymore, the same talking points from the candidates. When you look at the town hall meetings yesterday, the one that Donald Trump held versus the one that Jeb Bush held, which one would you rather be at?
Well, first of all, I'm afraid I have to disagree with the premise. I really do. People have always told, or at least in my memory, have always told Washington they can't stand them. That's nothing new. The only difference here is that you have a candidate who comes into this with great recognition before he got here. Everybody knew Donald Trump, so they paid attention. He's entertaining. Is that a good thing? You tell me. You know, he gets up there. He hasn't proposed anything of real substance that could actually be done. He says that things that are in the Constitution are unconstitutional, which is frankly impossible. If it's in the Constitution, it can't be unconstitutional.
But doesn't every candidate do that, though? Doesn't every candidate do that, though?
No,
they give us these platitudes, things that they're going to do when they get to the White House, but never actually get accomplished.
And let's be honest, there are some of them running that, know that they're not going to become president of the United States.
And we should say.
Well, let me throw one thing in there. What Donald Trump is doing, which is actually spectacular, is he's playing the media like a fiddle. Everyone's talking about him 24/7 on a loop, from C-SPAN to Fox News to Newsmax. So let me tell you something. He's doing something right. Now, you can debate whether this is good or bad for the political process, but between that and tapping himself as an outsider, bravo from a marketing perspective.
And just to be fair,
he's doing something right for who? You said it yourself earlier.
For us,
August.
Rick.
Things are usually. Wait, it's August. Things are usually brutal for people like all of us who do what we do in August. There's nothing to talk about. So for himself, yeah, it's great. And for us, it's terrific because he gave us something to obsess about.
He is getting people to tune in.
No, you know what? He's got 25% of the Wait. He's got 25% of the Republican polls. 25% of it equates out to about 8% of the population.
Well,
is that exciting to anybody?
When it comes to name recognition, too, and just to bring it back to where we started here, Mr. Nuts obviously came in with some name recognition as well. If you guys want to think back
That's why
to maybe one of the most important albums of the 1990s, Dr. Dre's The Chronic. It's right up there with Pet Sounds.
So you wouldn't know that just looking at him, would you?
I encourage everybody to get a copy. Again, not with your kids, but it's an important record.
You don't listen to that with your daughter?
Did you go see the movie?
No, I haven't seen Straight Outta Compton yet, but I want to.
You haven't seen Compton?
I'm going to go check it out. Great stuff. Guys, please do stick around. We're going to have more of our conversation. We're going to talk about Ashley Madison. Not a joke there either, with some of the stuff we're learning about that. And also, is Uncle Joe Biden going to come to the rescue of the Democratic Party? Some poll numbers might change your mind on that front.
And then we have an interesting picture that bears mentioning. We're going to talk more about that when Newsmax Now continues. You don't want to miss that because we want to get your thoughts on that. That's all coming up.
Bears mentioning. Welcome back. Real quick, before we get back to the roundtable, we have a special offer for our Newsmax audience. Donald Trump's Make America Great Again hat has become a sensation. You can get your very own cap free right now just by paying shipping and handling. Go to newsmax.com/TrumpCap or call 1-800-933-8396. Again, that's 1-800-933-8396. You see the number right there on the screen. Now back to our friends Ford O'Connell, chairman of the Civic Forum PAC, and Rick Ungar, co-host of the Daily Wrap.
Right here on Newsmax.
That's right. Coming up right after this program. Registered members of Ashley Madison.
You guys are finishing each other's sentences.
Well, you know.
We're on a wavelength today. Things are going pretty well. Don't want to jinx it. All right, we're talking about AshleyMadison.com right now, the cheating website, and the members of that website are in for a wild ride. Their information now making its way across the internet, and that includes Josh Duggar's name popping up as one of the users of the site. He says he's addicted to porn and a hypocrite, yada, yada, yada. Well, the group released this message here. Avid Life Media has failed to take down Ashley Madison and established men. We have explained the fraud, credit, deceit, and stupidity of ALM and their members. Now everyone gets to see their data. According to reports, 15,000 accounts actually belong to military or government employees or email addresses, which have yet to be verified. Now, once we get past the titillating nature of this story, Ford, wouldn't you just say this shows that the private sector and government are always one step behind these hackers?
Absolutely. I'm actually glad that this happened, not because the people partaking in this website should be punished for being stupid and cheaters. It's the fact that people need to understand that cybersecurity is the next frontier. You had Target hacked. You have China and Russia hacking the U.S. government. At some point, you're going to have to understand that everyone's at risk and everything you do is open for everyone to see. So you're going to have to be very wise about your information, because if somebody gets hold of it, guess what? Your credit rating, everything you've ever done in your life can be out in the public and you're exposed exposed, and everyone has to be smart about this.
Well, Rick, since so many of these email addresses were tied to government email addresses, do you think lawmakers in Washington will finally get serious about cybersecurity, since their marriages might be on the line?
Well, if that's what it takes to do it, boy, was it worth it. Easy for me to say. I'm not in there, thank goodness. But you know what? I mean, Ford is absolutely right. Cybersecurity, in my opinion, is the greatest threat this country faces today. Forget about your personal information. Wait till cyber hackers begin to hack into our water systems and our infrastructure and all these other things. This is critical, and Washington is not paying attention to it, and boy, are we going to pay a price.
Yeah, just wait till you go to the ATM and your money's not there. That's maybe what it's going to take. Let's turn our attention now from Ashley Madison to poll numbers. We talked about a Quinnipiac poll earlier about Donald Trump and how he fares against Jeb Bush, including in his home state of Florida. But let's take a look at this surprising little part of that poll number. Vice President Joe Biden is running just as well as, or better than, Hillary Clinton against top Republicans in general election matchups in Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania. You see Biden's numbers right here on the screen.
I'm still kind of shocked when I see Trump and how well he's doing in Florida. I know he has a home here in Florida, but he's even doing better against Jeb.
Yeah, but this is about Uncle Joe Biden. I mean, with everything going on with Hillary, and it's ongoing, do you guys think that Uncle Joe is going to come to the rescue of the Democratic Party here?
Well, let me say this. If there was a time for
it.
Uncle Joe to get in the race, this is absolutely it. Remember, Hillary's been telling Democrats over and over she's the only one who can win the White House in 2016. And this poll says Joe Biden actually has a shot, a very small window. And Hillary Clinton is scared to death of Joe Biden because she'll poll, if he gets in the race, 80% of the votes he gets will come from her. So guess what? Joe Biden's got a window. The question is whether or not he's going to take advantage of it.
All right, 30 seconds to you, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, my information is he's thinking very seriously about it. He's been working the phones, looking at if he can set up an organization in time, which I think he can. But no, nobody really knows at this point whether he'll do it or not. I hope he does.
All right, well, we're going to end things a little bit on a lighter note. It was so much fun the first time we did it. We decided to do it again. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Caption this. We have a picture, and we want you to give us your best caption, and this one certainly bears mentioning. A couple in